Hey everyone, good morning, it's me Gamerturk, and today we are going over to Axamer Lizum. Hope you enjoy the journey with me. So first thing we do is gonna check the weather, of course. Of course, I know the weather's gonna be good because I waited a couple days to actually turn this into a proper vlog. But we have fully clear skies, so I can give you a great tour of Axamer Lizum. Hope you enjoy. Of course, we are taking some basic with us, something to eat while we're up there, because once you go skiing, you don't stay there for just an hour. You stay at least 4 hours and you will need something to eat. We have a restaurant up there as well, but I don't like eating a full course dinner. These snacks are so much better until I return. And of course, just in case you wanna take a lovely break in this lovely weather, you gotta bring something to read as well. So that's what we're gonna do. Skiing equipment cannot be forgotten. Now you may be asking why I'm not wearing them all the way here in my dorm. Well, the thing is, they are racing boots. And if any of you is a ski racer out there, you'd probably know that racing boots are absolute cancer to wear. I usually bring my coat with me, but I don't feel like that's gonna change. That's a beautiful weather. Bring in some casual gloves because, yeah, holding a smartphone with the skiing gloves is probably not the best idea out there. So I got my slalom and giant slalom skis right here. What are their differences? Slalom skis are shorter, have a tighter curve, so I can control them better. Giant slalom skis are much longer and they are made more for speed rather than for being agile, so we're bringing slalom skis with me. Oh my god, the weather's so nice, I can barely see what I'm recording. What you see behind me is the Nordkette. It's one of our northern mountains that creates the entire valley of Innsbruck, and that's pretty much it. It creates a terrible wind in most times, so it's not all that optimal, but it's what we got. That's not where we're going though. Here we are on Axamer Lizum, finally. It takes about 30-35 minutes from Innsbruck to actually get here, but it is usually very comfortable. Of course, when there's good weather, there's a pretty damn long line, at least in the starter lift. It doesn't matter how much of an infection is going on in Innsbruck, so what can you do? You gotta wait at the line. In the back, you see the people I used to train with, the Austria racing camps. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll become a coach. Who knows? Gamerturk's pro tip: the first thing you do, lock up your shoes so they get a good grip of your feet, and then you just open them the fuck back up because it hurts. Seriously though, just make sure you lock them back up when you're actually skiing. So, what we got over here is our starting lift, which takes us to a majority of slopes on Axamer Lizum. They are all up there, which you probably can't see. Even if I move around, you can see. I hope my voice is coming clearly. But we also got some more stuff around. There you can see another lift on the other side, which has two slopes. They're relatively off-course slopes, so I don't like them all that much. We have the Olympiabahn, which is more like an Olympic train that takes you up there. Again, you can't see it from there, but I'll give you a better shot once I'm up. It is very fast. It takes you on top of the mountain in like 3-5 minutes tops if you don't wait at the line. But it is usually very crowded, so I don't prefer doing that. I just take the starter lift up and then hang out on the lifts up top where there are barely any lines. That's the most optimal thing to do. best feeling in the world. Right, already figured out the first problem with the vlog. I literally can't record properly when I have so much stuff with me. My bag is here as well. It's gonna be a little short on speaking for now. Gonna go this way, take that lift over there so we can get to the top station. And I am hoping my camera is really picking up my voice properly instead of the skis and the wind. Yeah, my goggles don't really match my helmet. The helmet is more than 10 years old. It's very sentimental for me. So many races, so many crashes. It's special. So let's hope for the best, and my voice is audible when I'm at least stopping. Yeah, see, the best part about being free of the starter lift on the right side and actually heading for the top, there's barely any line and I can sit on my own and actually talk about stuff without embarrassing myself because there's 3 other people sitting next to me and speaking on their own. So at the beginning I talked about the Olympiabahn, that's the monorail you see. Now the best part about it is, it's actually a one-stop from the bottom all the way to the top. The thing about this lift is, well, for starters, it's not as fast as the Olympiabahn. The second is, you actually gotta take 2 lifts to go up top. And the second one is particularly slow. There's the Olympiabahn coming. Not sure if you can see it, but let me try zooming if I can. Nope, I am not allowed to zoom while recording. This would be so much easier if I had a proper vlogging cam. Anyway, so the one we took is the close one over there. It came from all the way from the bottom. And now we are on the second lift going up top. That's where I'll leave my equipment. Now I don't know where you are from. I don't know how safe things are where you are from. I wouldn't leave my equipment when I was back in Turkey on top of the mountain without a group. But here, well, people actually have a proper skiing culture, so I can safely leave my bag. I'm gonna leave my poles as well because it's making it hard to carry the camera. The camera is my smartphone, by the way. I am taking a huge risk here. I have my thermal gloves so I can properly grab it with one hand. I don't have anything on my other hand, which is freezing right now, so I can actually press the buttons. because using your phone to actually vlog while on a skiing trip, that's certainly not the best idea. But it's the best I got, what can I do? Again, this is my first vlogging experience. You gotta excuse me if there are some awkward cuts, terrible choices. Oh yeah, there is the Olympiabahn coming back again. There are two trains going on the monorail. There's a switching station, not a station, like the monorail becomes two rails in the middle, and both trains can pass each other without crashing into each other, so that's a plus. But as you can see, it is much faster than I am. It wasn't even 2-3 minutes probably when I first showed you the bahn coming down. So yeah, we're moving at a snail's pace. That thing is actually moving at the very least of a bicycle going downhill. Oh yeah, to give you a weather report, it's clear skies. Obviously, because I planned this vlog to be in perfectly clear skies. Since it's perfect weather and almost the middle of March, well, the snow is not all that optimal. For a racer at least, for someone casual, this is probably the best snow you're ever gonna get. It's quite soft, it's very easy to get a grip even if you're not a top tier or a middle tier skier. So this is the weather you're probably looking for if you're going for a skiing vacation. This is as perfect as it gets for you. For me, not so much. Now you're starting to get some decent scenery shots. Don't worry, I have a couple of places where I can show you the entire valley I came from. That on the left is Hodel House. It's a great building. It's basically a top of the mountain restaurant and a rest spot in general. That's where the Olympiabahn docks, and I'm pretty sure it's about to go out in like half a minute. We're almost up top. But yeah, that's where I usually take my rests, grab something to eat, read more Sword Art Online, hopefully start Axel World soon because I'm almost done with progressives. Yeah, things are going well. There's more scenery for you. Okay, I left my bag and poles on the far side there. So we are ready to go again with the most satisfying thing you can experience in your life: putting on your skis. So that is our slopes. We'll start with the left side, which is Abfahrtdamen, which is, well, in English it's downhill women's. This place was used for Olympics. Actually, Innsbruck was chosen for Winter Olympics multiple times, so that's not at all surprising. But yeah, we'll start with downhill women's, which is my favorite slope in the entire Axamer Lizum. And then next time around I'll show you the Riesenslalom Herren, which is men's giant slalom. But yeah, let's see how awkward this is gonna feel without my poles, without a proper glove. And I forgot to take down my goggles, yes. Meanwhile, we're gonna enjoy the scenery. First bit here is not steep at all. It's very easy to come down, even if you're a beginner. But if you're a beginner, you're gonna have a hard time after this very first part. And it's not over yet. We're not even halfway through this piste. Well, I got some gates set up. I may go ahead and ask if this is for public or if it's for training. I doubt it's for public because there's a walkie-talkie and that's the obvious sign that it's for training. Yeah, that's decent enough. So the main reason why this is my favorite slope is that it's not always sunny. So in a perfect weather like this is where you find the perfect snow conditions most of the time. Up there, when there's sun, the snow is really slushy. And that is something I personally do not like. And I imagine most racers don't like it either. But here, when you get to the shade, it's much better. Although I'm having quite the hard time finding my balance without my poles and trying to grab my camera in front of me. So this is where the slopes separate slightly. It's essentially one straight to the bottom line here and another one to the side, slightly less steep, but not really. Gives you a couple more mileage, but not really all that much. Still, since you can see the bottom from here, we'll go right side. Oh my god, the snow is really soft here. I don't like it. I wish I stood on the main line. But yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same. Just an additional diverting line here. Let's wait for people to actually distance themselves. Well, I show you the scenery, because why not? I love this place. I miss Kütai though. That's another one of our main training mountains. It is 10 minutes, 15 minutes further away than Axamer. It's much more of a sporty area though. This is like one of the touristic places of Innsbruck, of the touristic mountains. Kütai is for much more giving the effort. But it's nice here, it's comfortable. You see, that's one of the reasons why I prefer having giant slalom skis, because going that straight down, that is painful with slalom skis. They are not designed for speed, so they start shaking once you go over 60 kilometers per hour, roughly. And it starts getting dangerous if you go further beyond that. But for vlogging, slalom skis it is. I am not here for speed. This is the beginning of the Olympiabahn, so where the train comes out. But we are not taking the train because it's usually way too crowded, and I prefer sitting on the chairlift. There are no sitting places on the train. And oh my god, they need to fill this place up with snow, otherwise I'm gonna injure my skis, and I don't want to do that. You can see the start of the Olympiabahn right here. I'm hoping the phone's vibration fixing thingamajiggy is working properly, because that's one of the things that would be very beneficial for this take. Oh, the line is completely gone. Okay, back on the second Sessel lift again, going all the way up top since we completed that slope. And now, once we get up top, of course, that's gonna take a while, I'll show you the full right side, which is the Riesenslalom Herren men's giant slalom course. Meanwhile, I feel like I can take a quick second to explain the differences, because I just realized I'm just spouting all kinds of skiing terms left and right without explaining what they are, despite translating them. So downhill is pretty much the fastest skiing competition you can see. It's usually, I don't want to say very straight, but it is aimed to be all about speed. You need to retain that speed throughout the entire course. You don't have significant curves that require you to be agile, but you need to have a whole lot of power to control that speed in your legs and to actually manage the curves that the course throws at you. So that was the point of the downhill course that you can't see from here because it's beyond that cliff where we just were. Giant slalom is aimed towards speed, but compared to regular slalom, it still requires much more agility. The gates are really closer together compared to a downhill. Like downhill just requires you to go the entire slope. Oh my god, why is this so hard to explain? I've been doing this my entire life. When it comes to giant slalom, actually the gates that I showed you that were probably for training back on the other side, those were giant slalom gates. The width of the giant slalom course is not the width of the entire slope. It's probably much easier if I put you some samples to actually see what the difference is. But yeah, giant slalom is much faster compared to slalom, which is the one that requires the most agility. That's why we have the shortest skis for slalom. That's why we have the, the beak in front of the skis, because you're really pushing the limits of that agility, and it's very easy to smack your skis right into the gate. And if you do that, thanks to the beaks, well, it's very millimetric precision, of course, but the beaks are aimed to push your skis to the outside so you don't get the gate right through and get disqualified. Of course, that's a very millimetric decision. If you're hitting the gate with the top of your skis, well, you kind of already fucked up and you have a long way to recover. But yeah, if it comes to that edge case, those beaks are aimed to save you. That's not the case with giant slalom. I hope I'm not confusing you with all this stuff. Yeah, now that we are back on top, I just realized I have never showed you the actual view of the other side where there are no slopes. It is one of the best things you can see around here. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, next course we are going is men's giant slalom. This is, it connects to the end of the first list, but if you're a beginner, I strongly recommend you not to try it out, because the beginning part, the connection part, if you're just learning skiing, you are much better off just sliding down. Now the good part about Austria is, well, people here live and breathe skiing. So whether you see a 5-year-old kid or an 80-year-old grandpa, they at least have a very decent level of skiing that somehow doesn't let their body deteriorate. That's pretty amazing. You'll see 80-year-old, 85-year-old grandpas skiing like a true champion. It's really amazing if you come across one of those. But let's go. Here we are, back at where we began. So what we're gonna do is, there's a very leisurely and very nice slope towards the left that you can't see right now. It's beyond that cliff. That's where I'll be heading for now. I am not going for the fun park because I am an alpine skiing racer. I am just not made for that. I am gonna injure myself. Hoping I do not run out of battery in the meanwhile, because this vlogging thing, that's draining my phone. Phone is not made for vlogging. Ah, look at that view. Perfect mesh of bright green and white. I don't know if that impacts me just because I'm a skier, but I love it. It's probably part of the reason why I love skiing. Okay, couldn't flip the camera fast enough there. That's more on the camera than me. But yeah, we'll go for the leisurely course. Based on my experience over there, the snow is not gonna be good, but the view will be, so you can trust me on that. The view here is pure amazing, look at that. Okay, this will be the final bit that I'll record for the vlog, because I'm at 8% battery after 2 hours of being on the mountain, which is absolutely incredible. So I hope you enjoy the view. I hope I can get over there before my battery completely drains. Left my skis behind, so I can climb up here, but if the battery lasts, it's gonna be worth it. It's tiring as fuck though. Oh, I am dying. You can probably hear it in my breathing if the camera picks that up. But we have made it to the edge.
and that is one of the best views you're ever gonna get in the entirety of Innsbruck. Maybe on the Nordkette there's a pretty good lookout spot, but that's not really for skiing, so I'm not going there. That right there is Innsbruck, the entire city, and this is how life expands into the valley. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm glad I could record this much. That's the end of the vlog until I return back to Innsbruck. I'll see you down there.
Okay, so after that I showed that final scene, my phone completely went dark about 2 minutes after. It was still working apparently, it was so dim that I couldn't see it in the bright light. But it was still working, so I mapped out the places I managed to ski. But yeah, I consider this a relatively successful first attempt at vlogging. I keep forgetting the camera is on the left side. I keep looking over here for whatever reason. Anyways, of course there's probably a whole lot of stuff to improve, so if you have any suggestions, do let me know if you enjoy these kinds of things, you know, vlogging and stuff. Since skiing is something I do so pretty much routinely at this point, I didn't know if there was anything you guys would find interesting, so I was just speaking general stuff that I can think of. But if you think certain things are more entertaining, certainly do let me know, because yeah, when you're doing something so routinely, you don't get to realize what's so interesting, what would be interesting for other people. So yeah, that kind of feedback would be really helpful. Next time I'll probably, if I ever continue the vlogging, if I don't continue the vlogging, I'll still do it, but it won't be a vlog, of course. Next time I'll try Kütahya, because the weather was so nice, but the snow was not really enjoyable in Axamsa anymore. It was just way too hot. Like, I went up to take a break after that final shot. There were butterflies flying around on top of the mountain, and that's a sign that it is not optimal for skiing. One final surprise. When I arrived back at my dorm, this was what I received. So the Lens Squad shirt has finally arrived. I would be so much happier if it had arrived before I left, so I could wear it on top of the mountain to plug in my merch. But it didn't, so this is where we're plugging it. You know, link in the description, Teespring shop of my channel. That's the best way to support me right now, because YouTube has demonetized me for the time being. We'll see how that goes. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, stay cool.